What you wanna know?
What's going on, people? Myke C-Town here. Thought episode of What Do You Want to Know? Where you ask your questions. If I like your questions, I answer your questions on camera. I'm gonna jump right into it. I have a question from a Retro Vertigo, and his question says, "Hey Myke, I'm a big fan of both your personal channel as well as DHH. Keep up the good work. The other day, you and the rest of the DHH crew did your yearly anticipated albums video, which was great. I am very curious to hear what you're looking forward to in 2017 as far as non-hip-hop releases are concerned. I think this will be a good opportunity for you to bring attention to artists that you think will have a promising year ahead of them. I personally can't wait for the new Converge and Oxbow albums. I would love to hear your picks." Alright, Retro Vertigo, thank you for that question. Yes, me and Dead End Hip Hop did an anticipated hip hop releases video. You can go check that video out if you want to, but to be honest, the majority of the video is an argument between FIFO and Ken about something that really just doesn't fucking matter. But it's entertaining nonetheless. But I'll go ahead and give a rundown of my anticipated hip hop releases, get that out of the way, just in case you guys have already seen that. My most anticipated hip hop release, Zach De La Rocha's album, man. If you haven't heard Digging for Windows, holy fuck, it's amazing. That combined with him having the best feature verses on both Run the Jewels 2 and 3, I cannot wait for this album. It's been, what, 10 years in the making or something crazy? So, yeah. Cage has a new project coming out this year. I don't know if it's his actual project or if it's the Sam Hill release or if it's both, but either way, I've always been a big fan of Cage. I really like the direction that he's going in musically, the whole dark, Luciferian kind of occult vibe that he's got in his music going on. Something that I feel like will be really interesting to hear in hip-hop, and I'm curious how it's going to be received. The new Sadistic album, anytime Sadistic drops something, I'm super, super into it. Nephilim Modulation Systems, which is Big Just and Orko Elohim. Imperial Layers of Protection, that record came out 11 years ago, and it's fucking unbelievable. And Wikipedia says they have a new album coming out this year, so all I can do is cross my fingers, because I'm sure it'll be amazing. Lupe Fiasco with Drogas Light, I'm sure that will be a great record. Kanye with Turbo Graphics, really curious to see what that's going to sound like. The new Brother Ali album, which I totally forgot about in the Dead End Hip Hop video. I cannot wait to hear that. That's going to be amazing. Alright, that out of the way, as far as all of the other shit, yeah, the new Current 93 album is called Her Ghost Sings Spheres, Sleep Has Her House. I fucked up and missed the pre-order for the actual record, so I'm really bummed about that. Like, you guys seriously have no idea how bummed I am about that, but I'm still looking forward to actually hearing the album since they are my all-time favorite band. I know a lot of you guys don't care, but there's a new Satyricon album, and I'm really interested to hear what that's going to sound like. I know a lot of you guys didn't like the self-titled album, and I didn't either for about 2 years, but then it clicked, and now I love it, so I'm really curious to see what they're doing next. There's a new King Diamond album. I will always be curious to hear what new King Diamond material sounds like. There's a new Immortal album. Immortal is now just Demonaz and Horde, so I'm really curious to see what that's going to sound like. You know, I'm one of the few people who doesn't agree with the statement that Abath is immortal, as we learned with that incredibly boring Abath album that came out last year. There's a new Behemoth album, which should be great. There's a new Katy Perry album. I don't give a fuck what none of y'all say. I always want to hear some new Katy Perry music, and it's been a minute since her last album. There's a new Portal album coming out that I'm sure will be great. They have not misstepped yet. There's a new Slow Dive album. Like, I can't even believe I'm saying that we're getting a new Slow Dive album. There's a new Depeche Mode album called Spirit. And the teaser for that sounds incredible. Really dark. Sounds like the Depeche Mode that I've always loved. So I'm really curious about that. Jesus and Mary Chain, Damage and Joy. That new song that they released is really, really, really good. I did hear that it was some kind of reworking of a Jim Reed solo song, but I don't know if that's true. I didn't really do that much research into it. Sorry, deal with it. Google that shit your motherfucking self. The new 9 Inch Nails album that's supposed to come out this year, after they randomly dropped that EP, which I think the EP was absolutely thumbs up. I think this is going to be a really good record. I think it's going to be noisy. I think it's going to be dark. I think it's going to be a lot more abrasive than what they've done over the past couple of albums. So we shall see. The new Black Celeste album, Banished from Time. No real explanation needed here. I love Black Celeste. The 7-inch that they just released was fantastic, and I'm positive that the album is going to follow suit. There's a new Nightbringer album called Terra Damnata, if I'm pronouncing that properly. The song they released, it was definitely a grower for me, but it's great occult black metal in a way that only they can do. There's a new National album, which I love the National, and I read an interview where they were saying that it's going to be really electronic-y, but still have that brooding darkness that the National has. So I'm curious to see how that comes out. There's a new Deers album, a band very few people pay enough attention to. This band is great. They're great songwriters, amazing songs, amazing albums. So yeah, I really want to see what this new album sounds like. There's a new Pharmakon album, which is funny because I just asked about a month ago what the hell happened to her. And then Sacred Bones announces that a new album's coming this year. So I'm really stoked to hear that. New At the Drive-In. Oh, fuck, man. That song that they released, which I just recently got around to listening to. It's fucking great. So I'm really curious to see what they do with that. I've always put At the Drive-In and The Refused kind of in similar buckets. So I'm really hoping that the At the Drive-In reunion record sounds 10 times better than what I felt was a terrible release from The Refused. Sampha with Process. I actually think this album came out yesterday, and I haven't listened to it yet, clearly. So I can still say that I'm anticipating it, because I'm anticipating listening to the shit that came out yesterday. I make the rules. It's my fucking video. There's a new Sigur Rós album that I think will be really cool. I don't think they've done anything since either 2013 or 2014. So that should be really cool. Now, those are the albums that I'm actually really excited to hear. You know, the albums that I think that I'm going to jump to listen to the second they're released. But there's also some albums that I'm just curious to hear, meaning when they come out, I'll get around to listening to them, but I'm not like super stoked to where the point where like if they drop today, I have to listen to it today. So yeah, those albums would be, there's a new Morris Principium Est called Embers of a Dying World. They're a melodic death metal band that a lot of people don't pay enough attention to. They're really fucking good. The last couple of albums have been really good, but the last one, it was cool, but it kind of teetered on sounding a bit too metalcore for me. So I'm kind of curious to see if they go back to the melodic death metal with this next album. But there's a new Immolation album called Atonement. That should be really interesting. I really like Immolation. There's a new Darkest Hour album called Godless Prophets and the Migrant Flora. And I haven't really paid attention to Darkest Hour since, I can't think of the name of the album. Whichever one came out after So Sedate, So Secure. But yeah, I'm curious because I heard the one song and it was actually really good. There's a new Body Count album called Bloodlust, which I think it'll be tight. I did hear the little snippet from the song No Lives Matter and it sounds pretty good, so we'll see. I'm just hoping that they actually stick to being a metal band and they don't start kind of turning into like a rap metal band, which I kind of got a little bit of feeling from that No Lives Matter song, but who knows? New Morbid Angel album, because Morbid Angel is now just a duo of Trey and Steve Tucker, which I think is really bizarre, so I don't know what the fuck they're going to do. After that last atrocity, that last fucking bucket of ass trash that they released on the world, I really hope they do a better job with this next album. I'm hoping that since they don't have an official drummer, that it's not going to be some weird, like, satanic techno album. I don't fucking need that in my life. New Cradle of Filth album, and again, it's weird me even saying that, but I really enjoyed the last album they released a couple years ago, so I'm hoping that they kind of keep on that path of releasing good black metal albums again. There's a new Converge album. Always interested to hear new Converge. There's a new Full of Hell album. Always want to hear new Full of Hell stuff. There's a new Ghost album, which I think will be kind of interesting. There's a new Yellow Eyes album that I think will be very interesting. People should definitely pay more attention to Yellow Eyes. They're a fucking really good band. There's a new Enslaved album, and I've loved Enslaved since I first heard them back in the late 90s, and they've done quite a transformation. I like some of their kind of proggy stuff, but some of it just does not resonate with me. So I'm curious to see what this next album sounds like. I would love it if they went back to their Frost era, or even like their Eld era, but I know they're not going to do that. So it makes me curious. It doesn't make me excited. There's a new Suffocation album. I haven't been the biggest Suffocation fan over the last few years, but I always give their albums a listen, and they're always solid. There's a new Messengers album, which I only recently heard the Messengers, like maybe 3 years ago, and I really like them, so I'm curious to hear what that next album sounds like. There's a new album from the band The Committee. It's called Memorandum Occultus. Yeah, that's it. If you haven't heard The Committee, I've shown one of their records in my videos. They're a really good kind of atmospheric black metal band. Really weird, kind of esoteric. So yeah, I'm actually kind of curious to see what this next album sounds like, because the last one was really good. There's a new Beck album, and I think that that's going to be really, really, really anticipated. Actually, I should have moved that into my anticipated section as opposed to the kind of curious section, because I am actually anticipating hearing that, because I loved the last thing Beck's done. So yeah, and the most important, there's 2 albums that I think are going to absolutely blow the fucking world away when they come out, and that's the new Iggy Azalea album. I really feel like it's a good thing to see that the queen is back, the queen of this rap shit. And if you don't fucking know about Iggy motherfucking Azalea dropping the motherfucking bars, then you don't know motherfucking hip hop, alright? You don't know shit about the motherfucking raps, alright? The raps. She is the fucking king of the South. Even though she's a woman, she's a king and a queen, goddammit. You know what I'm saying? Interchange that shit. That's how tight she is. Alright? There's a new D's Nuts album called Binge and Purgatory. And if you don't know about D's Nuts, you better ask somebody, bitch. And, of course, I know there's a whole bunch of you guys sitting behind your computer just angry with fucking pizza grease all over your face and ranch dressing just seeping all over your keyboard. You're just so pissed off because I didn't mention the new Tool album. The reason I didn't mention the Tool album is because I don't care to hear about the new Tool album. I'll listen to it when it comes out, but I am so not flipping my shit over hearing a Tool album. I don't know why. I loved Tool when I was in high school. I don't care. I feel like they're just gonna release another album that sounds like the last 2 albums that they've done. So cool, man. If we get it, great. If we don't, fine. If it's great, great. If it's not, fine. We will all live to see another day. So that's kind of it, really. Honestly, I don't typically make these big, long lists of albums that I'm looking forward to hearing, which is why I don't typically do an anticipated albums list on my channel. But since one of my viewers asked for it, I have delivered. So yeah, so that's it. Let me know what you guys are anticipating outside of that new Nickelback album. But yeah, leave some comments in the comment section down there. And as usual, thank you for living, thank you for loving, thank you for being you. Please don't die, and I'll see you guys next time. Alright?